So let's get to that. Let me stop sharing my screen. You can share, please.
Okay, I'm actually using um my laptop and also signing in with the phone. My phone is not the laptop doesn't have audio, so I'm using my phone account now to speak while sharing using laptop. Okay, so I actually did. I don't know if you can see my screen, sir.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so you asked us to make a swift for outfits for the week. So this is what I did. The This is the prompt I gave. Let outfit prompt what to wear on weekdays, then answer with outfit. So I now said let the switch should be outfit. So let me enter from here so that this is I play. So it came out, the prompt came out what to wear on weekdays, answer with outfit. So I type now Sunday and click OK. So it shows wear senator, which is the prompt I gave for Sunday outfit wear senator. So I also now typing in what to wear on Monday. It shows give me wear white shirt with black trouser, of which is what I typed on the case for Monday. Sorry, on the case for Monday. Outfit wear white trouser, white shirt with black trouser. So I don't know if actually how I wrote the code is okay, sir.
Please, can you come again?
Okay, I say that from the assignment you gave us, we should write a Swift code uh, for outfits to wear on weekdays.
Yeah.
Like
What is, yeah,
mhm. So with what you did for us, the examples you show us
yeah,
um, on Friday.
yeah.
So I had to use that example to work on to see how I could work on it, and actually came out with this code. So I number
Okay, let
the
outfits equals to prompts. What to wear this
yes.
morning? Okay, switch outfits. All right, run the code. Let's see.
Okay, so I now enter. It shows what to wear on weekdays. Answer with outfit. So I now type in the days, which is like no example Monday, and click OK. So Monday gives me wear
White
white
shirt with black
shirt.
trouser. Okay, scroll down on
Okay,
this your code. Let's see something.
okay, sir.
Just keep coming down.
Okay,
Okay, okay. So one thing I may not have mentioned earlier is that, you know, when we are talking about console, remember we said console is literally where our computer, like, is mainly for developers. That is where the program logs feedback and
hmm,
everything that is going on. Developer is able to see, okay, this is what is great, this might be the error. But when we want it to be for, when you are building for your users, so when you're using your console, it's still very fine. Oh. At least we are all
okay,
developers, right? So But
Okay.
if you are building for people, you use things that they can understand, like alert. You know, a non-developer, when he sees alert, he will know that, okay, he will understand alert, but he may not understand how to go to console and look for. So that's why we use things like alert to collect their feedback, and we use
Okay.
things like alert to give them. We use prompts to collect their data, and we use alerts to give them feedback. Okay, so what you did is very, very great. That's a beautiful job. Well done, well done.
All
So
right. Thank you, sir.
yeah. So let's
Thank
quickly move to the next person. Who else? Who else would like to present today?
Good morning. Good morning. Can I quickly share my name? I am entering
Yes,
another
yes,
meeting at the moment.
please. Okay, so,
All right, thank you. Okay, so I don't know if you can see my screen. Hello?
yes, I can see your screen. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I usually work on VS Code, so and then I tried this out using a function. Like I put the switch inside the function, and then I did it the other normal way. So I tried to run the two of them and see if I will get probably similar output. Okay, so uh, on this one I place inside the function,
Thank God you've started
yeah,
function. Thank God you've started function. So maybe you will teach us function today. So one mistake you've already started
right,
making. The
right.
days of the week is very wrong. Don't
Okay,
name things like that. Although it would run because it's not really a variable, right? Is a function you are calling, but try to always maintain camel casing. So the D is not supposed to be capital
all
letter.
right.
Alright, so go ahead.
Yes, capital letter. Yes, you're right.
No, yeah, I said it's not supposed to be
All right,
capital
thank
letter.
you. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for that. Okay. Yes, yes, I know. This D here. I
yeah,
get it.
no problem. Your code will run.
Okay. All right, thank you. So I defined my answer here in as much as I didn't assign any value to it or even make it an empty string per se. But then even if I make it an empty string, I think it will still work. Okay. So this is
Yeah,
where the
it
switch
will work.
statement started. I passed in days of the week and then case Monday to down to Sunday and then default. Okay. So for Monday, I my answer is sweater for some reasons. And then the sit down goes to Sunday and then the default. So if I if I
So
pass in Wednesday here in the yes, go on.
wait, Chikezie. So you
Yes,
used
go
to
on.
wear bikini on Saturday, Abi?
Weekend
Go ahead.
weekends are for having fun now. All right,
So
thank you.
man used to wear
So
bikini.
I no, it may not be me. I may be writing for someone else. It is well.
Alright, it's fine.
Yeah, thank you. So when I did the console log, I had to call the function here. This is a function name. I called it inside the console log and then passed in Wednesday to it. If I run this, I should have something like this, native wear, because the weather is light and you must
Okay,
attend the wedding.
go to the last line of your code again, please.
All right, here, this is
Yes.
the last line.
So let us give let us give users the freedom to put the day they want on the console.log. You understand?
Okay, You want me to prompt it?
And even though it's not prompting, don't specify the day, Wednesday. Let's see, when you come to your console, let us specify. So I think you may likely have to delete the whole console.log or just cut it out. Cut it out. Open your terminal. Let's see.
Yeah.
So you can write on this terminal, right? No, no, no. Click on terminal.
No,
No, no,
no,
click
I
terminal. So paste.
paste what?
Paste what you cut from the VS Code.
Plot. Hold on.
You didn't cut.
No, I didn't cut it. Sorry.
Okay. So if you can input it
Plot.
manually, go ahead then.
Yes. Plot choice. And open this. You want me to allow the user
Yes.
to
So
impute?
yes.
Okay.
So now we can now by ourselves impute days. Try Monday. Because the way you did it, that means you are forcing us to let it be
Use
Wednesday.
Monday. Yes.
We don't want to use
Okay.
Wednesday.
You want me to pass in Monday here?
Yes, yes. Passing
Okay.
a separate day so that it's our users are having the freedom of the days they want. I hope this thing self will work. Okay, so why it
Go
did not work is you need to go, what did they say? The term clothes choice is not recognized. So I think your clothes choice is small letter C, not capital letter C. Press up arrow on your keyboard. Now go use your back arrow on your keyboard. Go to the first C. Yeah, delete the first C and put it small letter C. Yeah, run it again. Let's see. The term clothes choice.
Yes.
Clothes choice. Clothes choice.
Plot choice.
The term clothes choice is not recognized as the name of the assembly.
What is the name of the function here now?
Where is this code? This is we are currently in the desktop, so we've not entered the folder of where you wrote this code.
Okay.
Do you get? You
Okay.
know how to
Yes.
enter
Yes.
the
Yes. Yes.
folder.
Yes. 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 Okay.
Just press
I
enter.
can only do that on command prompt.
Just press
I
enter.
think.
It's the same thing. Press enter. Press enter. Press enter again.
Okay.
So where is the folder located? First of all, where is the folder located?
It's on the desktop.
On the desktop. What is the name of the folder?
The folder name is uh
CSAE.
CSAE.
All right, now
Yes.
type CD. No, no,
Sorry.
no, not
Sorry.
there. On the terminal. The CD. Then tap CS. Do tab.
Wait.
No, no, no. Just delete two things there. Do press tab on your keyboard. Hit enter. Press
Okay. And then the
off
file
your
name.
caps lock. Off your caps lock. Off your caps lock. Press LS. Let's see something.
LS.
Yes, just LS.
I should enter.
Yes, hit enter. Let's. Okay, so we are here. All right, press up three times. Hit enter. Uh-uh. This is
Hold on.
yes.
Is it cause I have the name of the function as a string? Is it?
No, no, no. It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Okay. Check this. I don't know the
All right,
movie
no
part.
problems, no problems. Let's just do it your way. But let's not be taking too much time. But we'll sort that. So do the manual one you're doing. So
Okay. So
put Monday
yeah.
inside. Pass in Monday. Let's see.
Okay. You pass in Monday and then you run it. You have
Um,
Monday, sweater cause
sweater
it's a cold
first.
weather.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right.
Okay. So I can stop sharing now.
Yes, yes, good job. Well done.
All right.
So is there any
Thank
other
you.
person that would like to show us? Is there any other person that would like to show us? Or we should just proceed like that? But I believe, this is why it's very good, when we work on projects and stuff like this together. I believe many of us have learned together, right?
Very well, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes.
whether you choose to run it on VS Code, whether you choose to run it on the web, there are some web platforms that still give you the freedom to do all that. However you choose to do it, it's still fine. The main thing is let our code work, right? The main thing is let our code work. And that's really all that matters. So, all right, let's just go ahead to, what we want. Let's try and achieve two or three things today. We should finish up with the control flow. We should look at loop, then we should start looking at function. So that by the end of this, let's say by Friday, we should do a little thing about HTML so that you see that JavaScript, when we say JavaScript is for web applications, that simply means that if you want to run JavaScript, you need, there has to be, like like a web application normally has the extension .html. So that is what will really help JavaScript run. So, okay, I'm not sharing my screen, right? So let's go back to, so still under control flows, right? We want to look at loops. Loops. And let's visit our best friend again. We can see my screen, right?
Yes. We, yes.
Yes.
And we said we want to look at, are you sure it's not to look at functions first for loops? And since we've already set a structure, let's stick with that.
Please loop first.
Yeah. So, we said JS comparison, right? This is JS comparison with a lot of operators. And then next is we looked at if else, we looked at switch, which many of us has done on assignments. Now it's loop. So when we say loop, what we simply try to say is, how do we explain this thing now? Just like, when you are watching all these videos, when you're watching all these videos on on the internet where people are claiming they are woke, they are this, they are that. Those guys now, they talk about the matrix that they are manipulating you, right? What they are simply trying to say is it's as though life is like a loop, right? It's as though life is like a loop. You know, you wake up in the morning, you have to go to work. It's just as if you're doing the same thing over and over again. You wake up in the morning, you eat. Okay, I don't know what to do. Some of you, first of all, use your phone. First thing you use your phone. Then some other Christians, real godly Christians, they would, pray, maybe study the Rhapsody of Realities like myself. Then some people that have money, like the rich people here, they will make breakfast, eat, then go and bathe and go to work, come back in the evening, rest. The next day continue the same thing again. Next day continue the same thing. Sunday, it is church. Monday, it continues. So that is simply what we mean by loop. When you want to make like an iterative action, something that would always reoccur, something that will always reoccur. Just like once it is between so time to so time, what should happen? Sleep, right? So that that's literally what we mean by loop. Loop is what we use to execute a block of code iteratively, right? Loops are used to iteratively, no, is it execute blocks of codes, right? So that's what we mean by loop. So that it would, even though you are not around, your code would continually do what it has to do, provided provided the conditions are met. As far as the conditions are met, it would always you know run, right? And I would say this, and okay, look at this example here now. They said text plus equals to cars. What do we mean by text plus equals to cars? Zero. You can tell me, what does this thing here mean?
It simply means that it, it means that you're adding the cars array to the text and then returning the result as text, something like that. And then you're trying to get the index of cars in that array, something like that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It's just that when we want to say we want to say 5 plus 10 equals to
15.
you said? Okay, 5 plus 10. Okay, you're giving me the answer. 5 plus 10 equals to 15. Okay. For now, in JavaScript now, when you write this code, let's actually use our console. Say we say 5 plus 10. It's giving us this thing, right? 5 plus equals to 10. What's the best way to use this stuff again? I'm trying to pick up an instance where everybody can easily understand. Uh, Normally, this is not supposed to work because if I do 5 plus 10 equals to, it's going to give me that error. So the same way I say 5 plus 10 equals to here, the same way I say 5 plus 10 equals to without passing in anything, that same error, invalid left hand side in assignment. So this thing is still the same thing as 5.
Yeah, you're using the wrong this thing. Oh,
Said,
God.
you said?
No, go on. I was just interacting with my.
Okay, 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 okay.
Sorry, sir. Go on. I was interacting with my other distance. Sorry.
Okay, okay, no problems, no problem. I'm literally thinking of a real instance where we use something like this. Sum equals to hmm,
Did you declare the sum well? It's
no,
supposed
no,
to be a
no.
variable,
I'm
right?
trying to test out. We're trying to
Okay. Why
test
not
out.
I assign a keyword first?
I'm trying to prove to us why 5 plus 10 is equal. This 5 plus 10 equals to is the same thing as 5 plus equals to 10. So if we literally, they actually do mean the same thing, right? So this code is going to throw us error. That is the same reason this one
Wait,
here
wait,
is
sorry. Can you go back to the? Can you go back to W3 schools?
okay.
You got it from W3 schools, yeah?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
So what we are saying
Sorry, sir.
here,
What are you testing exactly?
we want to prove this. We want to prove this. We want to prove that these two things means the same thing because they do mean the same thing. So, but let me look at this one, right? They are saying
Can you copy
text,
the two and bring it here now so that we'll have a look at?
text. So here now they are telling us that text plus cars, and why he's
That's
concatenating here.
that's what I sorry, that's what I was saying.
He's concatenating here.
That's a break now. The BR
Yes,
is a break. Like
yes,
it's creating a
yes. I
line in
know.
different lines. Yes.
Yes, I know. It's,
Mm,
so they are trying to literally show us the vitality of loops, right? So imagine having
mm.
to write these codes like 6 different times. That one for the array of 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meanwhile, if you use a for loop, it's just barely 2 lines of code, right? You say for let I equals to 0, I is less than cars dot length, I plus plus. So
Uh-huh.
text,
Mm-hmm.
so the syntax of this simply is say, let us say we want to write, we're going to,
No,
okay,
sorry. Okay. Okay.
uh,
May I?
we, how are you? Speak soon. So literally, let me
Okay.
just use a simpler instance where everybody can just like better understand, right? So that with this, we'll learn the syntax of the loops. Like there's the best time to use for loops, and there is a time to use while loops, right? Let's say we want to add numbers. Let's say we want to add numbers. Say we want to add number to, we want to increment numbers. Should we increment numbers by 1 or we should increment numbers by 5? So let's just test out the two. Say we want to increment by 5 now. You say for for I is less than 7. For I is less than 7. I is less than 7. Let's say I is equals to 1. I is less than 7. I, if we want to do, if we want this code to increment by 2, right? We'll just do plus 2. So when you are seeing this plus plus here, what plus plus simply means is increment by 1. So it's going to be incrementing like one step at a time, one step at a time. So if you want to set your own predefined incrementing value, say you want it to increment by 5 or you want it to increment by 4, all you have to do is when you do plus, you add the increment that you want, right? Is it 3? Is it 5? So when they say plus plus here, it's simply saying now, what it's saying now, this I, normally, you just, of course, you should know that this is a variable, right? Because we are saying let. So let I equals to 0. So we are creating a variable and we're assigning a value to that variable, value of 0, value of 0, sorry, value of 0, right? And okay, here in this our own code here, we're assigning a value of 1. We said it is less than 1. Oh wow, wow. This is going to be a very, very dangerous code. Let us use equals to 1 because there are so many things less than 1. Numbers less than 1 is almost infinite. So we're going to be looking at 0.00. So no, no, let's not do something too complex. Let's say I. We've assigned a value of 1. I, right? And then
Uh, excuse me, sir.
yeah, please go ahead.
When you, I think you should add the variable there. Maybe let's use let I equals to 1. Let's say let I equals to 1.
Let I equals to 1.
Yes.
Eh, isn't that what is here?
You just said for open bracket I equals to 1.
Okay, 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 okay. The variable name. Okay, thank you very much. Let I equal. Let, let's try control. Are we seeing what is going on here? Hello, guys.
Yes, sir.
Are we seeing what is going on here?
So we are seeing it too.
So you see that you should make sure, is it, you can literally, I had to force close it. You can literally go and enter Wahala with groups. Imagine if you are not using a good system now, like me. So, which is actually exactly what I was trying to avoid. I didn't know that I have not even avoided anything. So, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, we can.
All
We are
right.
seeing
So
it, sir.
if you observed what happened previously, it's literally you just saw the numbers counting, right?
Yes, it
You
does.
saw on
Yeah.
my console number was counting. If I left it, it will count to infinity. So I literally thought I have set a rule here. To me, what I felt I did is that I thought that when it gets to seven, six, it will stop.
Oh, I get. You did not add
So
the I is less than or equal to 7.
it is here now. This is it here now. I said I is equals to 1, then I
Okay.
is less than 7, then I plus 2. So what I was expecting to see is 1, 3, 5, or maybe ends at 5. But the guy was incrementing by 2 till infinity. And everything I was doing, my browser stuck. I had to force close it. So um we have to we have to fix that. We are going to fix that. But before, just have at heart that the syntax for loop is like this. It's something like this, where we are assigning. You can use this as an example. Say maybe I plus plus or whichever one. Then we pass in the action we want it to take. Whatever thing is going to do. So let's go back to the okay. I think one big mistake I made here, right? The big mistake I made here was probably that was yes.
Hello, good morning. My name is Olatitu Adeleke. I'm from Osun State. I reside in.
The way I'm scared of running this code, if
Don't
I
worry, your system will not crash.
should I go ahead?
Yes, it will work, I'm sure.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
My, my oracle. Thank you, sir. So what actually now happened now? Is it not the same thing I did? Let me do the two here.
Let's
Let me
still
see.
try it again.
Hey, it has happened again.
uh,
Or should we try while loop?
I think the thing has hung to his system. Oh.
It will actually freeze the browser. It will freeze the browser. So then
Okay, okay,
use the browser, it will
okay.
freeze, not the entire system. When you are not using better system,
If he crash.
yes, you can just do the weaker system. So what I would do is discover why that is happening. So I think the issue comes in whenever we do that plus two, plus two. So that plus two makes it skip. It makes the head skip.
Um,
So maybe we're just going
I
to
tried
skip
it from my own end.
the same thing happened to you, I mean. So I'll discover maybe I've forgotten
My
what
own was just printing out.
it will just keep printing out
Can you hear me,
numbers.
sir?
Yeah, you said?
Yeah, till infinity.
Yeah, till infinity, yeah. That's infinity. So the same thing we are doing for plus plus, we can actually do for, if we want to decrement, we can actually do minus minus to I equals to 10. I is greater than 0. So it's going to give a countdown, right? So we see how we can actually increment or decrement, right? You don't have to, you don't have to say, you don't have to say, let's say you want to write a code that, would print one, that will print 1 to 10. That will equal you writing up to 10 lines of code. You don't have to do that, especially when you have your loop, right? This is a simple syntax. For instance, the for loop. We've tested an instance of how we can use it to increment, and this is also another instance of how we can use it to decrease. Is there a word like decrement? Eh?
Yeah, I did not do English in school.
There should be.
Find that out later. So, and yeah, they said different kinds of loops. It says JavaScript supports different kinds of loops. You say for loops, while loops. You see why I would always tell you there are majorly, two kinds, three kinds. What I'm simply trying to say is every other kind of loop that people are coming up with, they are all offspring of these kinds of loops, right? Like, where did we talk about something like that? In what previous class did we talk about that? I think in one class like that, I always tell you they are majorly this, they are majorly that. Then maybe when you
That
go,
was data types.
uh, so, but when you go on, what you'll be seeing is, thank you so much. When you go on, you'll be seeing big int, which is still numbers, right? You'll be seeing all of them are all coined out from the basic ones. Just like here now. This one now is even spelling it out to you. Like we have four loops. Like we have four loops. And now we are seeing for in, for off. We are seeing for in, for off. Then we have while loop. We are not having do while. We are not having do while. Okay, let's see this the definition for loops. It says loops like it loops through a block of code a number of times, right? It loops through that block of code a number of times. Then the for in loops through the properties of an object. For off loops through the values of an iterable object. Wow. And the funny thing is, and the funny thing is, and the funny thing is, while, and, and the funny thing is, all these things, you can literally use the same primary type to get all these things done. You can still use the for loop to literally do what they say for in will do for you or for off will do for you. But let's just say they will actually help it a little bit easier for you. But nonetheless, as far as loop is concerned, you can literally use all of them to do the same thing. Then we have while. While is almost like the worst self. While is literally worse than for. It's a very sweet way to loop, but you can, if you miss one simple syntax, if you miss one simple syntax, like you'll just be looking at your system. Your system will just be operating itself. You- You'll be begging it, I beg now. Let's actually look at while loops. Let's see how the syntax look like. For a while now, look at for that same code of for loop where we wrote. A while it will look something like this. So you start off by naming the variable by giving the variable and assigning values. And then you can now say while. So you see that you first of all name the variable above and say, okay, oh, I is equals to 1. Before an out comes and start using that to operate. You say, let's say while I is less than 20. Now do console dot log I, then I plus plus will now come here. So just something like this. It is more like trying to align it is more like trying to align for loop vertically, right? So if we run this now, you see it's literally still doing the same thing, right? Is that it's incremented 1 to 19, 1 to 19, I plus plus. Now imagine imagine you do the mistake of say you don't put maybe I is less than 20. Don't put that 20 or more. It will just keep incrementing. To just keep incrementing. So I'm just trying for us to like get that base knowledge of how this loops work. So instead of you to start having to write multiple lines of code, just simple commands like this, and it is going to be iterable, right? Like here, this is the example of the for loop here, right? Okay, they said for say I is equals to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, right? And this is the and we've explained how this stuff is exactly, right? This is expression one. And what we are simply doing here is we are assigning a variable. And just like we saw in the example, they said this is the syntax it takes here. It takes three expressions, expression one, expression two, expression three. And we still said same thing here. This is more like the same thing. It takes three expressions. Expression one. Okay, let us still do that here. Say expression one, expression two, expression three. And then what we want it to do here. Let's come to some of the code we need to come to that as an example here. Simple example. Simple example. Right? We set expression one sets the variable, which we know already. And what does expression two? It what does expression two do? It defines the condition. Here we are defining the condition that has to be met. You know, when we are looping, we are setting conditions that conditions must be met before these loops actually, takes place, right? Defines condition for the loop to run. And the condition the condition here now is that condition here is that I is greater than 0, right? And then the third expression is telling it the action to take. So first expression is assigning variable. The second expression is setting the condition. Third expression now is as far as these following conditions are met, take this action. So it will continually be looping through the code as far as the condition keeps being met, it will be taking that action, taking that action. That's that for loop. Okay, so for let I is equals to 0, let it equals to 1,000. So we can see a little bit of, advanced example here. Here they used arrays, and we are actually yet to look at arrays, right? So, so we can just look at it. Maybe I think when we look at arrays, because normally even these loops will actually be using it a lot, using it a lot. Functions will literally be using it a lot. Yeah, even our teacher is going to be telling us about functions very soon. So const cars, they set an array, right? Cars, BMW, Volvo, Saab, Ford. And now let I learn text. So what he simply did here is that he set the following variables. So you see that by doing the let I, you no longer have to come inside here and be saying let I. So if peradventure you decide to, just like somebody was trying to correct me earlier, this code is actually wrong. In as much as I did not do the let here, it is actually wrong. Even though I don't know it, it's actually still wrong. The same thing. It would always wrong. So another way you can still do that, like you saw what he did here. If you come here and say let I, you just name a variable. This will still run very fine. It will still run very fine. It will still run very fine. And when saying for I equals to 0, what it simply means here now, the 0 here now is not a number. It's using the for loop to iterate through the values of these arrays, which is uh, which is what they were trying to tell you, that which one does that? Properties of an object. They are trying to tell you that for in can be used to loop through properties of an object, or loops through the values of an iterable object. So you see that this thing normally, what they are doing here is something some persons may decide to use for off to do, right? This is an array. It has the following in it: values, names of cars, BMW, Volvo, Saab, Ford. So now when we say 0, anytime you see us saying 0, normally when you're writing code, many of us believes that the first number, maybe because of our learning, say first number is 1. We always count from 1, 2, 3, 4. But when it comes to code, you have to begin to learn about 0. 0 is actually the first number, right? 0 is the first number. So um objects iterate from 0. Just like you see here now, we are giving as far as we are giving, when we are saying I is less than, when we say, okay, let's look at my while loops. Look at this my while loop that I gave now. You see that when I run this while loop, where is it ending? It's ending at 19. It's not getting to, if you count, if I decide to count the values, we use dot length. We did not even talk about dot length. But dot length is something we use to count values of anything. Let's take an instance. Let's say let's car equals to Mercedes. Car equals to Mercedes. Car. Why is this guy not assigning my variable for me? Developers, what is the challenge? Why is this happening?
What is that, sir? I'm not even my attention has been divided today.
I'm
What
trying
what are
to
you trying to do, sir?
I'm trying to assign a value a variable in my console. Trying to assign a variable in my console.
Assign assign a variable. A variable
Yeah,
how?
in my I'm doing
Sure. Okay. Yes.
let's this is an instance of what I'm trying. I'm trying to assign a variable. Whenever I hit enter, it's telling me messages is not found.
Let car maker immerse this reference error.
So I think if I
Meanwhile, the mesh this, it doesn't have this thing on it.
exactly
A string.
yeah, it doesn't have this. So it's not, that's why it's not mentioned actually. See now. Thank you so much. Now let's do um because it has to be a string. Ah, finally, we saw that, right? Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is only the dot length. It's only this our dot length that actually counts from 1. Or whenever we're doing arrays, objects, everything, they count, they register the very first attribute as 0. Before you enter 1, there has to be 0. 0 is literally your first iterable object. Okay? And we were we were literally looking at what they did here, right? It said len text. It said for I equals to 0, then len is cars dot length. Cars dot length, that means 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Then text equals to, then I dot length. I is less than 4. I plus plus. So text plus cars equals to array I, then line break. So this is actually a very simple code. I just don't want it to confuse us that much. What we simply did here was we created an array of cars and listed 4 cars inside here. 4 cars. Now we're going to be using the following variables: I, length, and text. So I is 0. Now 0 being the very first value of the array here. Then length is the length of the whole array. And what is the length of the array? That is each value inside this array. That means the length of this array is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then text, an empty string, which is going to hold the value of these cars. Don't worry, don't worry. Let me not start getting people scared. We would actually do more complex things than that, right? But I just wanted to point towards that what they said we would have used for off loops to do. You see that they literally did the normal traditional loops to get that done, right? So yeah, you can't always do that. And next instance we want to look at is the while loop, right? We want to look at the while loop. It said the while loops through a block of code as long as specified condition is true. So the major difference between the for loops and the while loop is that what for loops is mainly looking at is that the conditional that you set, anyhow you want to set your conditions, as far as it is true, it would always continually iterate. But while loop, as long as those conditions are true, it would then keep looping through that block of code as long as it remains true. And we've seen an instance. I gave one example, right? And this is another example. Say while I is less than 10, text plus equals to the number is text, text
Mhm.
plus equal to I plus plus. So what it's simply going to do is it is going to list 9 numbers and it will say the number is 1, the number is 2, the number is 3, the number is 4, the number is 5 till 9, then it stops. That means some of this error, this console is throwing me. If we're actually writing this thing in VS Code, it may actually work very fine. It will actually work very fine. Now it wants me to define text. So yeah, this is literally what it ought to display. The number is 0, the number is 1, the number is 2. Remember, we said um, I is less than 10. So 0 is less than 10. So it's going to start from 0 and not 1. Okay, so that's syntax for while loop. So I think we should just quickly, start looking into functions. Some of these things is not literally about, telling stories about them. While we get to actually write, real life codes and solve life problems with them, it helps us get that better understanding. Okay, so not to worry, we will. So just make sure that the syntax that you're being given, you adhere to them. So one thing we should be going into next is functions. So who wanted to teach us about functions then? Please, you may have the floor now, sir. Should I stop sharing
Who
my screen?
who wanted to teach us function?
You. Please go ahead.
I honestly don't know about a lot about function. I don't even like it a whole lot for some reason. So I don't know how we're going to do it, Sha.
Voila.
How do you mean? I not why is a function here since.
He's the one who he needs to teach us.
I only used the part I know.
Okay, let me just
Only,
give us the
thank you.
background of what function mainly means. So just imagine now. Imagine that let's say we create a robot. Let's say we create a robot. And what that robot does is that what can we tell the robots to do, please? Give me one action you would like us to make our robots to do.
Let the robot say hello to everybody.
That's too simple. Let's say we want the robot to walk. Just take for instance that, to walk, it will be something like, let's just use a term, alert, which we are familiar with. Alert, raise left leg up. Alert, move body forward. Move body forward. Right? It's alert, raise right leg up. Right leg up. Alert, move body forward. Now, how many steps? Let's say we want to write a function that will enable our robot take 5 steps. So to take one step, how do we take one step? Normally you raise one leg up, you move forward, raise left leg up, move body forward, bring, bring left leg down. Do we agree that this is how we work? Huh? Do we agree
I did
that
not
this is
get you.
how
What
we
did you
work?
say, sir?
I said, do we agree that this is how we work? Or is there a better way of how we work? How do we work? Look at this code I wrote here. How do we work?
We are not robots now.
Okay, how do you work?
I don't know how I work. But what you're trying to behave like Elon Musk.
How do you work now? Do you work without raising your legs up? How we literally walk. You raise one leg up, you move your body forward, bring the leg down. You raise the next leg up. Everything happens very fast, right? So you will not really take note of that. So now we are trying to create a robot that will do that same thing. So that is why we literally have to think, how do we work? How we put that. So by the time you now set your loop, the robot is going to take all these actions smoothly. So you will know, you will forget about the fact that you are writing code, raise left leg up, bring down, and all that stuff. Now, this is all these things is what that robot has to do to take 2 steps, to take 2 steps. So if we want our robot to take 6 steps, what do we do? 6 steps. That means we multiply this by 3 back. So 1, so that is, and again. So this is what we have to do to make our robot take 6 steps. But we don't have to do this, right? We can just leave, this our 2 steps here. And if we want that robot to take 6 steps, what do we simply have to do? Who has an idea? If we want this function already helps our robot take, okay, let's take this as, this is 2 steps. This is 2 step already. So if we want our robot to take 6 steps, what do we have to do? They are not saying anything. So this is simply what we mean by function, and this is why it is very, very important. Now, as a function, what I will simply do, what this will simply be will be, of course, we'll have the name function robot 2 steps. Function take 2 steps. Then we give it a curly brace here. Now this code enter inside. So this is literally what we mean by function. Function help us, to store, a particular action, right? So this is simply, we've created a function for our robot to take 2 steps. Now, if we want our robot to take 6 steps, we don't have to now come and start stressing ourselves, writing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code for 2 steps. So 6 times 2, 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is what? 18. So we don't have
18.
to write 18 lines of code to do something very simple. Because we have named this function now, all we now have to do is just call the function. Anywhere we need it, we just call the function. And how do we call function? By this, we just do like this, and we've called that function. So we can call the function here again, call the function here again, call the function here again. So you see, how do you identify a function? They normally have they normally have uh, you know this colon by the side of it. So you can still be able to modify your function in a way that it can take parameters. It can take parameters, right? So that instead of me having to write this take 2 steps 3 times to say that, okay, robot, walk 6 steps here. You can simply just set it to receive parameters where maybe if you put 3, it's going to take that action 3 times. So function literally helps us write less code and is literally very, very important. Okay. So tomorrow we'll be, going deeper into the beauties of functions. So does anybody have any questions or contributions? Let's speak or forever remain silent so that our Oga can off his gen. Questions or contributions can kindly come in. If you have questions, let's deal with it here and now. So no questions. That means the lesson today was well understood, right?
Yes, sir.
I saw one route. She's not here again. All right, guys. So see you guys tomorrow. Hope we're going to start pretty early and we'll be really looking into a lot. Okay. So thank you guys for your time and see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank